Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to February 3rd, 2025. And here we are, and 3 miles outside Quartzsite, Arizona, boondocking in the desert in February. And yesterday, it got into the 80s. And let me tell you, in the trailer, it was 90. So, was I in the trailer? No. Dottie and I were outside, sitting in the shade, visiting with people. A viewer came by, introduced himself. We sat and chatted, and we other people came by, and it was a fun day. Let's look at the wind, right? So the wind, the peak wind day is going to be tomorrow, and it hits 11 miles per hour, which is nothing. I usually don't mention anything when it's under 10 miles per hour, but 10 and 11, it's not significant. You don't have to put, you know, it can gust up to 20. It could maybe cause a problem with your awning, so be a little careful, but it's not that big a deal. Then the next day is Thursday. Yeah, it gets up to 12 miles per hour. Then we have Friday, we're up to 15, so that can gust up to 30. So we've got a little bit more wind activity than in the next 10 days than we've seen recently. But the other days are all through February 11th are all under 10 miles per hour. So you have those 2 or 3 days where it's a little moderate wind. And you may be grateful for it because the temperatures today, it's going to be 85. Can you imagine how hot it's going to be in here? 85. So 82 tomorrow, Wednesday 77, Thursday 77, Friday 76, Saturday 71, and it starts going down again. Sunday 68, Monday 70, Tuesday 69, then we go down again. Wednesday 66, Thursday 66, then we creep back up on Friday, a week from this Friday on the 14th. Isn't that Valentine's Day? Yeah, it is. 69 degrees, then Saturday back up to 71, Sunday 73, Monday 72. February is really known as, in Quartzsite, the most favorable weather month. It's just beautiful here. And even at 82, 85 degrees, it's nice with a little bit of breeze that we have, 7 mile per hour breeze in the shade. It's very pleasant, very low humidity. And you can sit outside in a t-shirt and chat with your friends, which is what I did yesterday. I really like that. So let's get into the comments. And yesterday's long form video was stuff I was pondering this morning. And it is, the title was Stuff I Was Pondering This Morning, Thoughts on Faith and Philosophy as a Nomad. And Lisa R says, amen with a heart. RV Life says, 2 years ago I was in queue, and after the rigs left, I got lost coming to my spot because I couldn't figure out where I was. It was a little frightening. Yeah, navigating at night can be frightening in the desert because everything looks different, and especially this time of year where landmarks that we used to think of as landmarks, like other people's rigs, are gone, can be frightening. Quartzsite Comments, Medicare Day. The haunted camper said, "Yay!" They're neighbors over here. On Stuff I Was Pondering, Patty Coretta said, "I've heard this story before. It is a good one. I personally found that it's absolutely important to keep yourself open to the signs and our instincts as well when asking for guidance, no matter what a person's belief. The other half of a person's faith in this story and in life is trusting our ability to recognize that the help that has come our way is the potential answer of asking for help from the universe, God, or whatever belief a person has. Thank you for the reminder." And I'm not going to repeat my video, but basically what I was talking about was being alert to recognize blessings, and maybe some people call it miracles. Don't miss them. Pay attention. Adopted another pet, and Dottie is not happy. That's an old short. And Patty Coretta says, laugh out loud. The new pet was a blow-up Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer for Christmas. Stephen Gashi, good story, Rob. Thank you for that. I have another possible answer from God. I did save you, my son. You are now with me for eternity. Topaz Farmer Travel says, good morning. Per Baby George, Dottie and Rob. Well, thank you, Topaz Farmer. Patty Coretta says, great story. Topaz Farmer, again, thank you for a great story. I will be forwarding the link to my son and his wife, who profound hard of hearing deaf since birth. This is on Miracle Glasses. And when I read the story, I go, well, of course we can do this, but I didn't put two and two together. The positive news story is called Miracle Glasses, and it's a 10-year-old girl that's deaf, and she uses American Sign Languages and tries to read lips, and she puts on these regular-looking glasses, and they connect by Bluetooth to her phone, and what it does is as people are speaking, it displays like closed captioning accurately, timely, instantly, and it's just her reaction is priceless. Randy G. Dottie is raring to go this morning. So adorable and sweet. George is beautiful as always. Looks like a perfect morning. Loved the parable. Have a great day. Renee Slater says, love that story and the quote. Cottywomple. I had to put to sleep my companion of 13 weeks plus last week. I know his companion. I met them. Very sad. People think it's callous to start looking right away for another. I don't think that, because I've been doing that my whole life. Within a week, I'm looking to rescue a new dog. But I'm a firm believer of getting back on that horse, and it's our job to help animals as much as we can. Losing them is hard, very hard, but it opens the door for a new friend to rescue them from not so good conditions. My first search popped up Baby Bear, a 3-month-old German Shepherd mix. I continued searching, but I kept getting drawn back to her. I don't know if you know or not, but puppies are hard to get at humane societies and such because it's what people want to snatch up first. Well, she was listed for 4 days and I inquired about her and she was still available. Okay, this is kind of weird, but she was at a feral cat rescue up in Kingman, a 2.5-hour drive from Quartzsite. If it's the right fit, it's worth 5 hours of driving. Met them at the PetSmart. It was adoption day. Turned out to be the right fit for me. The incredible incidental timing of all this makes me believe it was for this express purpose. My longtime friend passing led to the saving of this precious pooch. If I waited a day or it happened at a different time and place, I would never have found her. Sorry so long, but I thought this was worthy in the topic you have here. If you can see me in camp, you can sure come visit, and I will. And I've been told she is good with other dogs. I'm sure she is, and she interacted with many at the store without a growl or bark. Well, maybe that'll be a video if you're willing. I'll check that out this week. On Miracle Glasses, Ken Gray says, what a wonderful technology. And Cindy Cavanis, I have the same toaster. I love it. That's on RV stuff that does or doesn't work for me. Virginia Hankey says, your maximum out-of-pocket for the year is only $221. Are you sure? Well, Virginia, I'm sure enough that I was quoting you last year's number. It's $257 this year. I checked. I think, man, I probably went up. But yeah, if you get a Part G, it's expensive. I think mine's $158 a month. It pays everything except for the Part B deductible, which in this year is $257. So yeah, I'm sure. Dee Dee Cornell, good morning, Mr. Rob, Dottie, and George. Oh, and by the way, I didn't even say that we were talking about Medicare. Dee Dee Cornell, good morning, Mr. Rob, Dottie, and George. And Ken Gray says, Dottie was very happy to be walking with her dad. Anthony Jackson says, thank you for the story. I heard that story when I was a kid, and the preacher said that sometimes God expects us to put our feet to our prayers. It's a good one. It's a good one. Lisa, did you mean to say $79 a month for the helicopter insurance? I think you meant a year. I did. If I said a month, I meant a year. You can get that helicopter insurance for $79 or $80, somewhere around there. It's a year, not a month. Virginia Hankey, and why is it so inexpensive? Because a very tiny percentage of people actually get flown by helicopter. So they can afford to sell a ton of policies for very little because the claims are so infrequent. And don't be fooled into thinking if I have helicopter insurance, when the ambulance shows up, you can't say, I want to go by helicopter. That's not the way it works. It has to be ordered by the first response organization, which is working directly with a physician, usually what they call medical control, usually at the local ER. They make the decision, yes, this condition warrants a flight. Virginia says, I'll keep that in mind for next year because I've already chosen my plan. Montana wife, happy Groundhog Day, everyone. Oh, that's right. It was Groundhog Day. 6 more weeks of winter, didn't that? He saw a shadow. Poxitani Phil. What a great movie that was with Bill Murray. I should watch it again this week. FSD at the lake. Dottie was feisty this morning. Love her. George looks happy in his hiding spot. Happy babies. Montana wife says, Albert Einstein said that people can live 2 ways. By assuming nothing is a miracle or by assuming everything is a miracle. I've heard that in different words before, and I think that's really good advice. It's, and I've heard that the phrase I heard is, God is everything or he's nothing. So, interesting, right? Dee Cornell, good day, Mr. Rob, Dottie, and George. AIM Reading says, Georgie, hi, cutie pie. That was so cute. Dottie said, give me yummies. Laugh out loud. Thanks for your great videos, Rob. I really appreciate and enjoy them every morning. Well, I'm glad to hear that. RV Life says, I didn't see the 2 pictures of Dottie. Did you forget to upload them? Yeah. What a fiasco that was yesterday. So I'm talking about, I'm answering a question in the video yesterday about how I got with George and got with Dottie. And I said, I'll go into editing and I'll put up pictures. And I did. And I went into editing, I got the pictures, and I did everything. And somehow I uploaded the wrong version, didn't have the pictures. So I decided, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pin a comment and point to like a 2-minute video where I show that section with the pictures. Uploading that 2-minute portion took like 4 attempts. I just kept making mistakes over and over again. But it's finally up there if you want to see it. It's there. You can see the before pictures of the. I have a picture of Dottie before I adopted her in the PetSmart, the day I adopted her, and another picture the following day. There's a big difference. Then I have a picture of George before I met George, where my friend said my family has kittens that they had at a farm, and they want to give away this one, and they showed me a picture of little tiny George. And I showed that picture and then some more pictures of George when he was a kitten, like lying on my shoulder. It's out there in my videos. It's about 2 minutes. Whisper Bird said, good luck with Medicare. And I was like, read that, does that mean, was that like, good luck with Medicare or good luck with Medicare? See, it's hard to say. It's hard to say whether that's a good wish or a, I think Medicare sucks. I have no idea which way it was. I'm going to assume that he means congratulations and good luck. In all my research, I've heard that as long as you stay away from the Advantage plans, you rarely have a problem with rejected claims, as long as you understand the things that are covered and are not covered. For example, what's not covered, you can't go into your doctor and say, I want a checkup and a physical exam. And if they code it as that, Medicare says, no, we don't pay for annual physicals. But if you go in with any kind of complaint and they examine you, then they cover that. Nash says, hey, Rob, you had an oops moment. You forgot to put the picture of Dottie the day you saw her and the day after. I would love to see it. So both these people that commented, I replied to them and sent them a link to the little 2-minute video. And with them, I had to do it 3 times because every time I'd put a link, I'd find a problem and I had to redo the video and I had to go back into their comment, edit it, and put in the right link. Oh, it's awful. It took a long... YouTube took a bigger part of my day yesterday than it usually does. Dottie, okay, Dottie Travels. That's me. I said missing pictures of George and Dottie in this video, and then I put a link to this is a pinned comment on the Quartzsite Comments Dottie adoption story. On stuff I was pondering, John Montalbano says Dottie is so cute. Barb, my buddy Barb, my Can't Make Bar, says 3 hearts under adoption missing footage. RV stuff that does or doesn't work for me. Robert Nasser says in Quartzsite, we were using a 40-pound propane tank a day with the generator. My solar panel, 400 watts, had a defective area and was not producing any power. If you were using a 40-pound propane tank in a day, I guess you're running it 24 hours and you're running some big stuff. Because my 20 will run mine for an eco setting with maybe just charging batteries. It'll run 10 hours. So you must have been running it all night. John Montalbano, thanks for this update. I'm leaving in the spring with my 2 dogs for permanent RV residence with 2 doggies and 2 kitties. I'm escaping concrete Brooklyn to go west. Dottie and George are adorable and inspiring. It's wonderful you adopted both and have given them a loving, active, and safe life. John, that's great that you have the experience of living in New York City, in wonderful Brooklyn. You have that under your belt, and you have those experiences to relive in your memory. Then you go to a completely different environment, and different socialization, and everything's completely different. It's really fun to have a variety of experiences in your life. And if I had any regret about my living situations, I've lived all over the country, and the one place I didn't live that I always wanted to live was New York City. Renee Slater, and now Dottie's a princess. Virginia Hankey, her eyes tell a significant story. And what she's referring to is the comparison of that adoption picture and the following day picture. Chris Lant, many years ago, my dad said to me when we were talking about religion, whatever religion it may be in his view, it was created by very clever people who realized humanity needed a code to follow and something to believe in, otherwise anarchy would prevail. 50 years later, I think he's right. That's an interesting view, and that's actually a popular view. I've heard it more than once. I think of it more of there are things in life that aren't knowable by evidence, at least not so far in humanity's history, like the concept of life after death. And that's a life after death, whether we don't know, there's no proof. And it's a big major question in life, isn't it? Do I just go into oblivion when I die? Or do I go on someplace else? It's a big question, and it can become a big fear. And our mechanism to understand that and cope with the idea that we have a finite time on this earth is dealt with by many people with faith, right? And faith is from the original Miracle on 34th Street movie. Faith is believing in things when common sense tells you not to, right? Or faith, in other words, faith is an explanation for things that are not explainable. It's a fundamental belief in something without that scientific evidence, right? And it can be a really special thing. When we have a belief that isn't backed up by things we can measure and observe. That's pretty cool stuff. Miracle Glasses. Randy says, stories like this remind me there are wonderful people in this world trying to improve the lives of others. And you know what? That's absolutely true. There are... Oh, you know what? I didn't plug in my camera here, so I was noticing the battery was draining. Is it charging now? Yes, it's charging now. Robin Goff says you have to be open to the signs. They can be quite obvious sometimes. Good story to tell again. Lead Me Universe. Y'all look like a good group to hang with. That's a Shade in the Desert, a very old, it's a very old one. I gotta watch this. It's a short. Oh, this is from last year. It's from last year. Isn't that great? So let's get back to the comments. Pamela Knoll says your logic is amazing. Nice items to part with. Hard choices for many of us. You make it look easy. That's RV stuff that does or doesn't work for me. I was talking about there are things that worked for me for a while, and I purged myself of them because they stopped working for various reasons. And that's part of the process of being a nomad, is sorting through what works and doesn't work, and moving on from the things that don't work, and embracing the things that do, and recognizing that your requirements and your tastes change over time. George and Dottie, adoption missing footage. We have Kristalina gives me a bunch of hearts on that. Tamara Lemon on Miracle Glasses says, I love this. My Nomadic Dream, Frugal RV, Lori's Way. This was the meetup. Gorilla Weed Views. Anyone know if pharmacies there have sealed bodies of opiates? I know you need a prescription. I have a hospital pump hanging out of my heart and plan to see a doc there, but don't want fentanyl. I don't know. I don't know what the opioid situation is. I would suggest that there's one pharmacy in Quartzsite. I forget what the name of it is, but if you Google Quartzsite Pharmacy, there's only one. There are a couple of pharmacies in Parker, Blythe, I think Rite Aid in Blythe. I think there's a Walgreens and a Walmart in Parker, and then there's everything in Yuma. So I'd get dialing and calling those places and finding out. Quartzsite Comments. Moonstar, wow, $400 a month. I'm saying what it's costing me for basic Medicare, then the Plan G, and a really robust Plan D for medications. That would be like 20% of my Social Securities. That is insane. I am never going to be able to retire at 63. I hope my company doesn't force me on Medicare at 65. Well, that's not true. Okay, I'm buying the Cadillac, right? You can stop at regular Medicare, and this year it's $185 a month, not $400, and you can stop there. Their deductibles and their copays, like 20% copays on things. So you have to be aware of that. But you can get an Advantage plan, right, which usually costs $0, and that covers additional things, and you can potentially have a lot less out of pocket with an Advantage plan. And the Advantage plans often also include a medication plan. There's a lot of factors involved there, and the thing to do is to contact a trusted insurance broker and explain your situation, and if they're a good one, they can recommend something far less than $400 a month. I'm just talking about me in my decision and my resources. I bought the most expensive Medigap program that you can buy, and I bought the most expensive Plan D. So the Medigap, I think, was like $160 or something. I can't even remember right now. And I think the Part D was $89 a month. So yeah, that got me, plus the $185 got me way over $400 a month. But it's Moonstar. You don't need that. You don't need to do that. So there are other options that are less than half of the $400. You can do this. It's all right. You can do it. There are other options too. If really that Social Security is going to be your only income, there are other options for you to be considered low income. There are other options too that can really help you. So see a trusted, licensed healthcare insurance industry broker. George and Dottie adoption missing footage. Na says, oh my George was so cute. Dottie was happy after you adopted her. And then we have my complete Quartzsite boondocking camp. That's an old one, but Blue Pony says, great video. So I'm guessing you have about 1,200 watts of solar. It's a very good guess. How often do you need to run the generator to supplement your power needs? The answer is hardly ever. And when I do, it's probably unnecessary. Or is solar enough to power everything you have? It would be. You know, my friend Tim that camped with me the last couple of years, but he's not here this year, used to kid me because I'd get down to like 50% and I'd fire up my generator. And he said, it's going to be sunny tomorrow and the next day. Just hang out and you've got all this battery for a reason. Have some patience and let a few days play catch up. But I wouldn't. I'd run my generator. But I don't have to. But I guess I want to. So the answer to you is hardly ever. And I would say this year I could go the whole year up through, I'd look at the weather for the next 10 days, up through almost the end of February without any stretch where I would need to use the generator. One more quick question. Including the price of the camper trailer, solar panels, everything included, how much did you spend to be able to live on RV lifestyle? Everything included. Well, by far the biggest expense is the trailer. And I bought my 2021 Winnebago Micro Mini 2100 BH model, new, for about $27,000. I think it was $27,400. Right? That's the biggest expense. And the solar, all this, the solar system that I have now, the 700 amp hours of batteries would cost about $1,500 just in batteries, and then probably another $200 in wiring. That's wiring and connectors, call it $300. So we're at $1,000 for wiring and batteries. Solar panels, you can get very inexpensively. So probably for another $1,000, you can get 1,000 watts of solar pretty easily. Especially there's places like Santan Solar in Phoenix that sells commercial pre-used panels for it. You can do the whole thing. Where was I in cost? So say $2,000, you can solar controller, inverter, another $500, shunt. Let's say $3,000. $3,000 is safe. You can do your own solar system, or for $3,000, you can buy one of those, depending on your power needs, how much power you use, one of those self-contained solar units where you don't have to wire or install anything, and you can actually plug your RV into it like you're plugged into shore power. $3,000 or $4,000 would get you everything you need with no installation required. So let's say on the upside, $5,000 for solar and all the miscellaneous little pieces of equipment I got. So we're talking 27 plus 5 is $32,000 got me on the road. But think about that $27,000. You can spend a lot less than that or a lot more than that, depending on, I will never buy new again. I bought new because I didn't know better. And guess what? I got super lucky. Nothing went wrong with this. But I go on the forum for Winnebago users, and I happened to get one that was, the construction just was completed at the very beginning of the pandemic, so it wasn't affected. The stuff during the pandemic, when there were labor shortages and stuff, nothing but problems. People are so frustrated. And then, you want to buy a used RV for the simple fact that someone else has powered through the headaches that come with a new RV. Because guess what? The manufacturers don't stress test their RV, right? And it doesn't happen. And the quality control is not like motor vehicles. It's very, very different. And it's not as regimented and controlled as like a Ford or a Dodge motor vehicle. And getting warranty work done can be very difficult, because here's what happens often with people is something will break down and they'll call the dealership, and the dealership said, fine, that's great, it's covered under warranty. I have an opening in March and you're sitting in November. What are you going to do? And you look at, there's nothing in the fine print on the warranty that says we'll do it right away. It just says we'll cover it. It doesn't say when. So some people get lucky and they have a dealership that says, come right in, we'll take care of it right away. I've heard it both ways. But I will do two things on my next RV. If I buy another RV, I could have this for the rest of my life. I don't know. I'll buy a used one, and I will pay $1,000 plus to a certified RV inspector to inspect it before I buy it. Even if they inspect it and I pay them $1,000 and they say, we didn't find one thing wrong with it, to me, it's still worth it for peace of mind. But that's not going to happen. They're going to give you a hit list of stuff that's wrong or needs to be enhanced or repaired on that RV. And it may cause me to pass on the deal, or it may cause me to go to the seller and say, I need to be compensated for these things, or you need to fix them and pay, and you need to pay for a reinspection if you fix them. That's what I'm going to do. So I think that's really great advice. I don't know what you think, but I hope Blue Pony, I hope I answered your question. So for me, about $32,000, but I could have bought a used Micro Mini that would have been just as good, and I could have saved about $10,000, right? What else can I say? I've certainly found there are going to be people that are going to argue this with me, but my personal experience, and so when I say my personal experience, that is a sample size of one, and you know what that might be worth? Nothing. But I've owned homes. I've owned freestanding homes. I've owned condos. I've owned, condos and freestanding homes. That's the other kind that I've owned. I was going to say I owned a townhome, but I didn't own a townhome. The maintenance on my home now is less than those have been. My personal experience. Other people will tell you, oh, it's so much more when you have an RV. Well, I guess it depends on your RV. And that is all the comments. If I missed yours, I don't think I missed any. I apologize. It wasn't intentional. Take care, and I'll see you tomorrow. Oh, I was going to tell you what the videos are today. Didn't I? I'm getting in the habit of doing that. And I just love today's positive video. I call it Who We Really Are. It's a wonderful positive story about the generosity and kindness and efforts of a particular person in an organization. But I think it really illustrates, it gives us a reminder of, as human beings, there's a kindness and generosity that runs through us that is often not recognized in the media and in social media, and we need to see more of it. It's underrepresented. And I'm about to release Charlie Saves the Day. My friend Charlie and Diane, we had someone here that had brought a brand new generator and was very disappointed. It was a brand new Honda generator. It's $1,000 for this little generator, and it did not work. And she was going to have to drive 2 hours to Phoenix, drop it off, drive 2 hour back, wait for them to fix it, drive 2 hours to fix it, to pick it up, and 2 hours back. That's like 8 hours on the road just to get what she paid for, $1,000. And Charlie heard the story and said, you know, I know my way around engines for sure. Why don't you let me take a look at it? And he looked at it and saved the day. And we have an operating engine with no need to be repaired. So I did a video on that, and it's called Charlie Saves the Day Generator Repair. And I'm releasing that right now. And after I finish talking here, I'm going to upload this, and you'll be able to see this. Take care, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching my videos. I really appreciate it. Take care. See you tomorrow.